Hello. Thank you very much for joining this episode. And today, Nigerian football legend Mikel Obi has opened a can of worms, a contestable African football conundrum, which has become the elephant in the room. Nobody wants to speak about. At least, no high-profile football person in Africa has been bold enough to say this as it is. But Mikel Obi has been courageous to say this on his podcast, Obi One on One. And Mikel Obi's assertion is basically something that a lot of Africans, football fans, have complained about. And it's got to do with players of African descent or of African origin in the diaspora who choose to play for the countries of their birth and then later on in their career decide to choose the African national team as a second option, mostly when these African teams have qualified for the World Cup. And this is what Mikel Obi has got to say. He says that they want to play for England, France, whatever it is, and then they wait. When they are 25 to 26 and they don't get a call up from England, then they call Nigeria. We shouldn't be treated as the second option. You should be proud of your African roots. You should be proud of your African roots, emphasis mine. You should be proud to represent your country, African country, of course. If you decide you want to play for England, stick to it. Sit and wait, but don't wait till you are 29 or 30. You've passed your best. Then you are like, oh, Nigeria FA, I'm ready to play for you now. No. Then he used the F word. He says, F off, mates. Obviously, Mikel Obi is not pleased by the way some of these players have treated African football and their countries of origin. And I do perfectly share his sentiments in that regard. This is a topic that we have continuously discussed, and Ghana perhaps is one of the countries in that soup, if not the first or second of the countries that have tolerated players who have made such decisions to come and play for Ghana when they are past their primes, or to come and play for Ghana at the time that they are no more at the apex of their careers, or they've been chased by Ghana and then they decide that they will play for, they are waiting for a call up from another country or the country where they were born. And if it did not succeed, or if it does not succeed, they choose Ghana. This is perfectly what Mikel Obi is saying. And I agree. I agree with Mikel Obi because this is also the sentiment I share. What I do not disagree, or what I disagree with Mikel Obi, is that it is your option. It is wholly in your domain to be treated as a second option. I believe that in this world, it is wholly in the domain of any individual or institution or country to be treated as a second option. It is wholly within your domain. It is within your province to be treated as a second option. Nobody in this world is useless. And so if you don't have standards, you will always be treated as a second option. If you are ready to embrace anything without discipline and sticking to your convictions, you will always be treated as a second option. So even though I agree generally with the sentiments of Mikel Obi, I think that Mikel Obi fails to put the blame squarely at the doorstep of who deserves the blame. You cannot blame the players. Obviously, you mean to say, or the implication is to say, they are opportunistic. The players are only being opportunistic, deciding to play for a country of their origin only when they have no other option, or their option of waiting for England or France or Netherlands or Spain is not successful. And if it is unsuccessful, then they remember that they have their grandparents or dads from Africa. And of course, they now feel truly African to come and play when they are 29, 30, 31. I agree. But the blame is not the footballer. The blame is the African country. That's my point. The blame is squarely at the doorsteps of the African country. Mikel Obi makes very good argument. But then in the concluding part, he should have touched more on why this concept or phenomenon has continued for years without the African countries realizing that they are being used as a second option. One, to even blame the players, largely, like I say, you cannot blame the player. First of all, let's take Kobe Menu, for instance. Kobe Menu's parents are from Ghana. Kobe Menu started making inroads at Manchester United Academy long ago. Kobe Menu is a teenager. Kobe Menu has not played for the Ghana youth teams before. Kobe Menu has not featured for any of the Ghana youth teams before. Ghana ordinarily or normally will wait when Kobe Menu becomes a Manchester United professional after he has been developed by English FA and the government of England. This is a player who has never set foot in Ghana, let's say, before he turned 16 or so. He doesn't know anything about the Ghanaian culture. He was born and bred in England. What he understands generally from the environment is the English culture. He's been trained and he's gotten himself imbibed in the English DNA of football. The culture he understands of football is of England. He comes home to Ghanaian parents, but he holds a British passport. He's English. He's not Ghanaian. Then he knows that he comes from Ghana at a point. Now he's been treated well. He's played through the English under 15, 16, 17, then plays the professional club for Manchester United, and English national team comes calling. That is the time that Ghana national team will also go calling. So imagine somebody treating a kid that belongs to you or is related to you, and the person raises this kid up to age 17. And all of a sudden, you want the kid to feel patriotic and throw everything that has been done for him by the country of his birth and say, out of patriotism, I don't know Ghana. My parents come from Ghana, but I'm not Ghanaian. So to say, I hold a British passport. But because I want to be patriotic, I'm only 16. I don't care whatever the English FA has done for my development and growth. I want to go and play for Ghana. I'm 16. With all the future that waits for me, and with all the courting that the English FA is doing, the people who have built my foundation, I should go and play for Ghana. That is all. Even if I have no contact with the Ghanaian FA throughout my stay, no Ghanaian FA official has ever visited, or there is no Ghanaian FA facility in England or office where I can say, oh, I want to learn more about Ghanaian football. I understand that it's a country with huge reputation for producing footballers. I'm one of them. I'm 14. My dad has brought me here to learn about Ghanaian football, to speak to a Ghanaian football legend when I'm 14, to understand the dynamics and to get an orientation of what Ghanaian football is about. Nothing of this has happened. Then I'm 16, 17. Out of 50 million population in England, I've been invited to play for the English national team. Then I reject. After playing for under 15, 16, 17, no FA official from Ghana has come to speak to me. Then when I turn professional and I'm being invited to play for the Three Lions, I reject and say I want to play for Ghana. Mikel Obi's assertion doesn't come in here. I understand him. So he says that these people, once they make this decision, they should stick and not change their mind. And I'm saying you cannot tell people not to be opportunistic when they have two options. All of us in this world as human beings are naturally opportunistic. When you are presented with two scenarios or two environments or two options, the likelihood that you choose the one that you are more inclined or affiliated to, the one that has served you more, your loyalty lies there. When it fails, then you look at the second option. It is up to the managers or the person in charge of the second option to say, you cannot treat me as a second option. But if they wait for 10 years and you still come back and they accept you, it means that they themselves have no principles. For instance, you are there could be man situation. You are a lady who is 22 years. A man has come to this lady that, oh, I want to marry you. The lady looks at you and says, you are not my class. I've stayed with this man. He has money and this is the best option. I'm waiting for him to invite me. Or I'm waiting for this man to come and propose to me. You are not my class. He may not say it, or she may not say it openly or express it orally. But by implication and conduct, you can see the body and say, the person doesn't want to, do anything with me, or she doesn't want to spend the rest of her life with me when she's 22. Then she waits when she's 34, and the option that she was waiting for fails to come. Then she says, now I am back. When you have won as a man, you have won lottery, or you have gotten American visa to travel with your dependents. This lady you proposed when she was 22 and her prime says you were not her class, now comes back at 34 and you accept her. Who deserves advice? Who is to be advised? It is you, the acceptor, not the lady. Because everybody is opportunistic. The country that goes in for Kobe Menu when he hits his prime is opportunistic because there are players back home. Perhaps this country, Ghana, Nigeria, they have failed to put fundamentals and developmental structures in place. And so they go to look for a player who has been produced by another country. And he fits the prim and proper football stature. And they leave the players in their home countries and chase Kobe Menu. Is that not being opportunistic? Because you want the best. There are other players in your country, but you want the best. The English FA who have nurtured him are also courting him. They also have options and they are choosing the best. Of course, he even owes his loyalty to them, but they are still trying to convince him. You, the African country that has played no role in his development, you want him. It is being opportunistic to you on your part because you have abandoned talent home and you want one that is already developed. So it goes hand in hand. The African team is being opportunistic. They've contributed absolutely nothing but the sperm that the dad contributed or the mom carried. And they are sometimes even English. Their parents have even become English. Some of them, it is their great-grandparents who migrated. They have become accustomed to the English culture or Spanish culture or French culture. You come when they are 21 and they in their prime and be courted by United or Chelsea or Barca. You have left your players home. You don't have structures in place. Some of you don't even have training facilities. You want the player to say, out of patriotism for my motherland, I am throwing away all what the French FA have contributed in my career. Say Mbappe, I want to come and play for Cameroon because I feel patriotic. Out of nothing, suddenly one day, the stay in Clermont-Fontaine, the investment the FA and the clubs they have made in me, I'm going to play for Cameroon so that I become patriotic. Who does that? The FA in Cameroon are also abandoning players and structures in there to go for Mbappe. And then France wins over him. If France fails to sign Mbappe, Mbappe will wait and wait and wait because that is his plan A. When he doesn't get it, then he chooses your plan B. Why do you still welcome him when he's 32 or 30 and making you a plan B? Because you yourself, you have no plans of developing talent. If Mbappe comes at 32 and you have a national team that is so well great with talent that you have grown, they may not even get the chance to enter because you have built your national team, and any player who is 32, 33 cannot make you a second option. They cannot even break into the team, so they will not even decide to come. But they find out that you still don't have any plans. Your national team is still in shutters. So they can wait and wait and wait. When they don't have a better man to marry, then they come and choose you. But because you yourself, your life is without principles and you are not even a man of organized nature, you accept them because you won't find any. You are not ready to also invest in any woman. That is the situation. Mikel cannot blame the players who are being opportunistic. We should be blaming our federations. And when I say let's blame our federations, I want to use the Moroccan FA and government as an example. This is Sofiane Amrabat, who is the brother of Nuruddin Amrabat. Sofiane was born in Netherlands. The Moroccan FA tracked Sofiane when he was 12, 13 years. He played for the Moroccan under 15 when he was still in Netherlands. So you don't wait for the Dutch to snap him and put him in an academy. Then you go for him when he becomes a professional or he's been courted by Inter Milan or Chelsea. No, you don't wait when his mind is made up. When you want people to be loyal to you, you make contributions, indelible contributions in their lives when they need it most. Amrabat was courted and snapped by Morocco when he was 12, 13. He was born in Netherlands and he started playing for the Moroccan national team. They started flying him back to Morocco to play for the national team and camp when he was 15, when he was even 14. He has become inundated in the Moroccan culture. At an early age, they have invested in him. So he goes back to his amateur club in Netherlands, trains. When Morocco wants him for the national team under 15, they fly him back. They identify this talent when they are young and they invest in them. Same for Achraf Hakimi. Where was Hakimi born? Hakimi was born in Netherlands. If you check his profile, Hakimi started playing for Morocco national team when he was 14. Made contacts when no national team in Netherlands had seen him. So they have scouts identifying players of Moroccan descent in the European leagues, not big leagues, amateur leagues, and to beef them up with their local bred or homegrown talents. So when Achraf Hakimi starts playing for Morocco at 14 years and he's 19 and all of a sudden Real Madrid wants him, this is not when to make a decision. He's already played for Morocco at the age of 15, 16 and has come to understand the Moroccan culture. It will be difficult for Netherlands then to convince him to play for them because he is a Moroccan. They have shown interest when he needed them most. There is one player, Sergi Mustafa or so, at Paris Saint-Germain. Monaco. He's 19 years. I started monitoring him like 3 years ago. And I realized that even though he's 19, he's played for Morocco for 6 years. He recently got invited into the senior national team. He played for Morocco. He's played for them for 6 years. It means that they identified and scouted him when he was 12, 13. When he was not in the frame of mind to make decisions of his nationality switch. His parents will now understand that our son went to training in an amateur club or in a school team. He was contacted and seen by Moroccan FA officials. They came home and said, this guy is a potential and he's a huge prospect. And we see him playing for Morocco in the next 5 years. So we want to make facilitations for him. Then the family is all of a sudden stunned. We stay in Europe. We have a son who is 12. Moroccan officials have flown here to identify him playing for a school team. Now they want to fly him back home intermittently to train with us and also play for the Moroccan national team one day. They have become hugely indebted to the Moroccan FA. There are so many players in Netherlands, players of various countries' origin. So they are looking for some. And the Moroccans are also looking for those with Moroccan descent. You find them early. Even the Bible says, catch them young, and they shall be yours forever. This has been the saying since time immemorial, since the days of York. Catch them young. You don't wait for players to grow to 20 and become global stars. Then you fly from Nigeria, yeah, FA president. You tell them, oh, Eberechi Eze, patriotism sake, come and play for Nigeria. Ignoring the other factors, how they were trained, how they have become inclined or accustomed to officials of the FA and the system of football. One day they will wait for England, of course. They know that you are also coming because you are opportunistic, because you have heard that they are global stars. You are not following them when they were prospects. And they say it is the seeds and seedlings that need watering, not the trees. You wait when they are trees before you go. Are you not being opportunistic? And Eberechi will choose England. He will wait. When England fails to invite him, then he chooses Nigeria. That is what you deserve. Like I said, any person in this world without principles will eat crumbs. What people have eaten, they will throw to you. And when you don't eat, then they know you have principles. But because African FAs will always eat. Look, I have a lot of examples. Nobody should tell me that Kevin Prince Boateng came to play for Ghana out of patriotism. Nothing. That is not true. He would have chosen Germany again and again, but for the fact that, is it Michel Bierhoff or Sammer, who said he was indisciplined to feature for Germany despite his enormous talent, and they cut him off the national team, and he saw that he belonged to Ghana then, he wouldn't have played for Ghana, and this is a fact. If Germany chose him as a first option, he wouldn't play for Ghana. Let's be honest. He only came because Ghana provided the second option. He played for Ghana at the World Cup, then went into oblivion. Completely missing. He said he won't play qualifiers. Africa is too far. The flights are too heavy. He gets jet lag. He will not come and play. He waited from 2010 till 2014. Came back again when another World Cup appeared. Without playing in all the qualified except the last one that Ghana had already qualified. We welcome him back and threw the players who had sacrificed for the country. Do you have principles? You talk about somebody being opportunistic. Players play in qualifiers, you throw them and bring someone who is making you obviously a second option. You can't blame the players. Blame the federations and African countries who want to reap where they have not sowed. Nobody will wake up in England after going through medical school and whatever there and say, I'm coming to Nigeria hospital to practice because I am patriotic. When England has offered them whatever there is in their education. Unless, of course, the English government says they don't want your services. Then you look around and say, Nigeria is the second home then. Even people who the countries have helped go there are not coming back. It is a fact. Mikel, you make very good points, but the point that needs to be said, that needs to be stressed, is the fact that African federations are not interested in grooming, nurturing, developing their own players. And so, Warbeck will not play for Ghana. Kalum Hudson-Odoi is still waiting to switch nationality. We clearly know that this guy is only coming because England did not call him. But we will accept because we have failed to produce quality players. Despite God reveal the exposure and talent that we have, we failed to groom them. So we are waiting. Nketiah will definitely not come until he realizes that it is no more an issue for him to play for England. This issue has not got to do with Ghana alone. You remember this player, Gael Kakuta, when he became a household name in football, signing for Chelsea when he was young, playing for France under 15, under 17, he was waiting for France. He waited and waited until he became too old and chose DR Congo because he wanted the national team action or competition, the caps on his profile. So Gael Kakuta all of a sudden came and DR Congo people gave him number 10, knowing that he wouldn't have come if he had gotten France invites. The same applies to Geoffrey Kondogbia. When he was on form at Valencia and all the top clubs, they chased him and chased him and chased him. DR Congo chased him. He didn't come. He did not choose DR Congo. When he realized that France would not call him again, and his age, he was approaching the twilight of his career, he chose Central African Republic. Geoffrey Kondogbia, they gave him the captain's armband because he came from Europe, ignoring the players back home. If you continue to do this, don't come and blame anybody for you being treated as a second option. That is what you want. That is what you want. Those who offer players early opportunity, the players will be loyal to them. Inaki Wiilaims, once upon a time, said he doesn't feel Ghanaian. He was waiting for an opportunity to play for Spain. He waited and waited until he was 30. And then said, never will I get the opportunity. Then all of a sudden he felt Ghanaian. Ghana abandoned prospects, youngsters, and chose him because we felt that there is no player with his quality in our team. Why do we not have a player with his quality in our team? Because we don't want to develop. Even though we have the talent, blessed with abundance of talent. He came at 30 when he had initially said he doesn't feel Ghanaian. All of a sudden, when we qualified for the World Cup, he felt Ghanaian. And we accepted him. So who is treating himself as a second option here? Is it not Ghana? The player will always be opportunistic. Just as all of us are when we are presented with two options. So will we now say Inaki Wiilaims has been patriotic to Ghana and Nico Williams hasn't? That is not the issue. The opportunity that Nico Williams has is what Inaki wanted. And thankfully, Nico has. He will not choose Ghana. Let's speak to our African countries and federations to find interest in the most important things. Because we cannot be this entitlement, sense of entitlement. We cannot be asking people to feel patriotic when we are not patriotic to ourselves. Mikel Obi makes a very good point. He's raised a very genuine argument. But where does the blame lie? The blame lies in the bosom and at the doorsteps of African football federations and countries. Some of these national teams don't even have training facilities. Godfrey Kondombia came to play for Central Africa after France abandoning him. He came and they don't even have a stadium. But all he wants is a national team appearance on his CV. So he will choose. Nesken Kebano played for Fulham and big clubs in Netherlands. He didn't see DR Congo as an option until he was turning 28, 29. He came. They gave him number 10 because we embrace people coming from outside, people who have been developed by other countries. We think that we don't have to work. We don't have to pull our sleeves and get to work. The talent here can only become, or they can only blossom when they travel to Europe. And when the Europeans invest all that in them, you say they should wake up at one day, 16 years and come. Some of these players even, when they, I have evidence still there, documentary evidence of players who are 16, 14, 15, whose parents feel that these guys are good enough. The Ghana FA should try them. Some of them have been asked to pay bribes. Maybe not expressly, but you clearly can see the body language. Everybody in Africa, Ghana, FA, they want a player who is at that height. Oh, Barcelona, Chelsea, Inter, they are chasing him. Then they say, oh, let's go and see him if he will play for. At that point, the player's mind is made up until the country of his birth is no longer interested in him. You yourself, you are treating yourself as second option. You don't have principles. You don't want to work. And if you don't want to work, if you don't want to get to work, dig, plant, and reap. People will plant and reap. When they eat, the ones that are not good enough, they will throw it to you. And it applies to all the various sectors of our livelihood and economy. So, Mikel, I like the fact that you've been very courageous and bold to bring up this topic. But the blame should lie where? At the doorsteps of our federations. Like I've mentioned, all the Moroccan football players now, about 80% of them were born in Europe. But not the 80% were scouted when they had become global stars. The 80% were contacted when they had not received any contact from their European countries. They played for Morocco from under 15, 16. How many times do you see that in Ghana? Do we even have money? Will we pay for a player who is 15 years with huge prospect in England to come and play for the Ghana under 17? No. We won't. We are only paying for Black Stars. Are we not the opportunistic group or bunch? Morocco, Algeria, those countries who have been doing it, who have been contacting players with prospect, huge prospect in Europe, they get the best. You have to track your quality players when they are young. Tony Bafo has always suggested that Ghana establishes at least some satellite offices in Netherlands, Germany, and England. These are places of a lot of Ghanaian people of Ghanaian origin, and their children are playing there. I visited Chelsea Academy, and they were speaking Twi when the under-16 was playing. 4 or 5 Ghanaians in that team. They will play for England under-17. No FA official in Ghana will go and say, this player in the under-16 or 15 team of Chelsea has prospect. Let's try and start speaking to him. Let's try and convince the family of what we can offer. We won't do that. We wait when they reach the status of Kobe Menu, Manchester United or Chelsea or Arsenal has signed him. Then all of a sudden, just when individuals, ordinary people come to see the player because of exposure, that is exactly when the FA officials also see him. But that is not what Morocco, Algeria are doing. They don't wait for the world to see the player. You have to go to the field and weed and pick the best out. Don't sit when harvest is ready, then you go. When they reject you, then you come and say they are not patriotic. Then later when they also get rejected by their country of birth, then you say, oh, they should not come. As for them, they have decided. It is within your province to say we will not accept you. Me, if I have a national team, I will build the foundation here and have my local players treat them well. When they get clubs to play, I invite them. When I see a top star in Spain and I invite them 22, 23 and they don't come, and I build my national team and they come, even if they are Maradona, I will tell them no. At 29, 30, we cannot have you because I have built a solid team. That is the point I'm making. So Mikel Obi, the pressure, blame should not be the players who have been opportunistic at their twilight stage. The blame should go to the African federations who do not want to put, their hands to work. So people will take us for granted. Because I know players who are waiting, lurking. We have been chasing Kaluma Sonodoi for years. He's lurking. When he's 28, 29, and there is no option available, England is not coming, he will come. And we will accept him because we don't have, Kwame, we don't have. And we are failing to produce the quality to meet the standard. If he comes and there are 4 or 5 players, Michael Essien was groomed here, John Mensah was groomed here, John Pencil was groomed here. When we had that team, even if you come from Europe, no matter who you are, you can't break into the midfield where Michael Essien and other players are. But now, if we don't have, and Inaki comes at 30, you don't have a striker, you have failed to produce, you don't have a deliberate plan, so you go searching for talent who are, who have exploded on the global scene. Everybody is mentioning that he's Ghanaian, so you want Brobe, you want with this, you want that. You should go look for them when they are 10, 11, 12. We know where to find them. We don't want to work, we don't want to invest, but harvest. We don't plant, but we want to sow. Mikel, leave the players. If they are opportunistic, it is for the FA in Nigeria, it is for the FA in Ghana to reject them and say, don't come when we don't need you. When we need you, you don't come. Don't come when we don't need you. If a lady rejects you when she's 22, and she waits for 12 years, 13 years to come back to you when her options have failed her, and you accept her, you should not blame the lady. Nobody should blame the lady that don't change your mind and go to the man. Only there, she's seen that you are now on top, so she will come and find some to chop. It is for you, the acceptor or the person she's coming to decide whether you have principles and say, don't come. I have built my foundation. I have a lady now. I will not throw her away for you. What did you not do for with Felix Afenajan after helping us qualify for the World Cup? A youngster who we could have groomed. We sacrificed him for Inaki Wiilaims. Do you think that Felix Afenajan, if he had his kids in Italy and they want to play for Italian national team, he would say, go and play for Ghana? No. That is the point. Let's know where to put the blames. Thank you.